Now, a major breakthrough has been achieved in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. This after the Rafah crossing opened for the first time on Wednesday and hundreds of foreign nationals and injured people were allowed to evacuate from Gaza. However, the brief glimmer of hope quickly faded as Israeli strikes hit the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza for the second time. In the latest, Israel says it has killed another Hamas commander as it attacked the densely populated Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza. The first strike on the camp on Tuesday killed at least 50 people. And now the IDF says it has killed the head of Hamas anti-tank missile unit in the second strike. Meanwhile, Hamas says at least 195 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on the camp so far. And some 120 are missing and at least 777 more are wounded. United Nations has reacted saying that Israeli attacks on the Jabalia refugee camp could amount to war crimes. Next, let's take a look at these satellite images. They show the scale of the devastation that has been caused at the campsite after the Israeli attacks. You can compare the two images to see what happened before and what has been left after. Now, while the Israeli strikes continue, around 335 foreign nationals and 76 injured people were able to evacuate from Gaza to Egypt on Tuesday. Now, this is the first evacuation from Gaza since the war began. As Rafah crossing opened for the very first time, the evacuations were secured under a deal brokered between Egypt, Israel and Hamas with Qatar's mediation efforts. Now, on the other hand, US President Joe Biden has said that the evacuation was the result of intense American diplomacy as he thanked regional partners for the release of US citizens. Day 26 of the war saw intense battles between Israel and Hamas as Israel continued its relentless pounding of Gaza. Visuals from southern Israel show an Israeli army helicopter firing a machine gun, launching a rocket and flares over the Gaza Strip. The Israeli military said its forces had struck about 300 targets over the past day, including anti-tank missile and rocket launch posts below tunnel shafts, as well as underground Hamas military compounds. Now, amidst all of this, viewers, Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has said that Hamas either has to die or to surrender unconditionally, and there is no third option. Meanwhile, Hamas has released videos showing its response. It released a footage showing one of its drones throwing an anti-personnel explosive device at Israeli troops, and this happened in Gaza. Now, while the fighting rages on in Gaza, clashes are also occurring in the West Bank. Videos have emerged showing armed clashes in a village in Jenin between armed Palestinians and Israeli soldiers. This after Israeli troops raided the village. Meanwhile, international diplomacy is also on full swing. US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken will begin his new West Asia tour amid war on Friday. He will visit Israel and Jordan. Of course, this time his itinerary in the West Asian region is lesser. He will be visiting other nations globally. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin also met his Saudi counterpart in Washington, and the Israel-Hamas war dominated the talks, of course. The Saudi Defense Minister also met Anthony Blinken. Now, in other updates coming in related to the Israel-Hamas war and its aftermath, Jordan has recalled its ambassador to Israel. This is an expression of Jordan's position rejecting and condemning the Israeli war raging in Gaza. Israel has responded by saying that it regrets the Jordanian government's decision, and earlier Chile and Colombia also recalled their ambassadors to Israel, while Bolivia announced that it was cutting diplomatic ties with Israel.